Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. My name is Kiris. I'm starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Welcome and thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, August 24th through Saturday, August 30th, 2025. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. Sunday, the Sun's Day, August 24th, we are starting off the week with just having had the new moon at 0 degree Virgo. 0 degree Virgo with the new moon is a clean slate. It's a fresh start, a new beginning, and then some. 0 degree Virgo is the first degree, Dwad, and decadent of the sign of Virgo. The moon in Virgo has lined up with the sun. The moon is now pregnant. She will wax and grow in light and power. This new moon time is a time for action. About 2.5 days after the exact moment of the new moon in Virgo, we will get to see that beautiful baby new moon with the moon growing in light and energy as it builds towards the culmination full moon moment. The sign of Virgo is Mercury ruled. This is the time to take action as the moon is growing in light and power and energy, to take action with the thoughts, ideas, and concepts that you are having. It's also a very supportive time if you are an author to start that new book. Mercury ruled Virgo is superb at negotiating new deals. However you use your mind, this growing of the new moon to full moon ruled by Mercury is auspicious with any idea that perhaps you've been thinking about for a while, but life being life, you couldn't put it into action or do anything about it. This new moon at 0 degree Virgo, and it's the first of 2 new moons in the sign of Virgo. This is your mind being just filled and illuminated, Mercury in Leo, with ideas and concepts, and very positively, because Mercury in Leo is the sun, is about a happy, positive, and successful feel. The sun brings success. Also on this Sunday, we have the sun in Virgo making a square aspect of action to the planet Uranus in Gemini ruled by Mercury. Thoughts and ideas that are different, unique, experimental. The sun square Uranus saying, yes, do something about it. The sun in Virgo also makes an inconjunct aspect of adjustments to Neptune in Aries at this time. The moon is making a sextile aspect of opportunity to Jupiter exalted in Cancer. Now the moon is your emotional body. It's also your physical home, making the sextile aspect to Jupiter exalted in Cancer, Cancer being home and family. The moon in Virgo, as we start off the week, has an emotional need to organize and clarify the space that you live in so that you can, Jupiter exalted in Cancer, move forward into the future, making your dreams and wishes come true. I always say that every item in your home has its own home. In other words, if your shoes are in a certain place, your paperwork is in its own home, the kitchenware, it just makes it easier and more efficient, which Virgo loves. Virgo does not like to waste time, energy, and thought if and when it doesn't have to. So one of the techniques, if you try it out, that could help you a lot is to think of all the things in your home as having its own home. And when they are put there and it has its place, then watch how the energy changes when you save yourself time and frustration trying to find things and everything is in its home in your home. I love this moon in Virgo, sextile Jupiter exalted in Cancer, because the moon in Virgo is trying to get organized so that more time and energy can be put towards the Jupiter exalted in Cancer, which is going into the future. We also have the sun today in Virgo making an inconjunct aspect to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Now the Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is a mindset. It can be because it's retrograde going around the same thought over and over again with the Pluto in Aquarius, which is fixed air, a fixed attitude. So the sun is trying to make adjustments and changes, even a little change. This is the inconjunct that can mean so much as far as the thought process that you perhaps have just been in the same thought going around the same loop. So the sun in conjunct Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is a change of mind and change of attitude that, again, with this new moon in Virgo, can be just so supportive and helpful. One little thought that we change and adjust can help to change everything in your life. Monday, the moon's day, August 25th. We are starting off Monday with the moon still in Virgo, making an inconjunct aspect to Chiron in Aries. These are the adjustments as far as how you see and want to express yourself with the moon, which is the emotional need to express, making the adjustments to Chiron, the wounded healer, in the sign of Aries, I am. Also, we have the moon in Virgo making a sextile aspect to Venus in Cancer. Now, Venus is getting ready to change signs today in a little bit on this Monday. Venus is a morning star until November. So when Venus shines brightly in the pre-dawn sky over the weekend, I hope you got to see Venus lined up with Jupiter exalted in Cancer. The Venus, Jupiter in Cancer lined up before Venus changes signs today. It is so beautiful and was so beautiful to see the greater and lesser benefics, Venus and Jupiter together in the pre-dawn sky, which is ushering in dawn, this new beginning for you with the new moon in Virgo. Later on in the morning, Pacific time, we have the moon entering Libra, which is ruled by Venus. The moon in Libra makes an opposition to Saturn in its fall placement of Aries. Then Venus does change signs. She moves into fixed fire Leo, which rules over the heart. Now, Venus in Leo is about being in love with love, falling in love with the romance, the excitement, the natural high. There's nothing like the serotonin, dopamine chemical high that takes place when we fall in love. The question to ask, though, with Venus in Leo is, if it's real love, true love, will it stand the test of time? When, like all energy in the cosmos, including us, there are the highs and lows, the ebbs, the flows of energy. So it's very romantic, the Venus in Leo, and loves the big over-the-top demonstrations of love. But will it go the distance? Will it stand the test of time? The moon in Libra also makes an air trine flow to the planet Uranus in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. The moon in Libra makes an opposition to Neptune, the higher octave of Venus in Aries. So the higher octave of a planet basically means that the planet spends a long time, in this case Neptune in Aries, it spends years in one division of the sky. So it puts a highlight on how the collective is progressing and changing over a long period of time. Now the moon in Libra also makes an air trine flow to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, fixed air Aquarius, and then Venus in Leo makes a fire trine flow to Saturn in Aries in its fall placement. So these signs of the zodiac and the aspects they are making are highlighting for us from the cosmos the free will and choice that we all have to progress and move closer and closer to love and creativity, which is what Venus rules over. Nothing up in the sky is making us, forcing us to do anything. You have free will and choice. The lights, the highlights in the cosmos simply put a spotlight on different times and seasons of life. Tuesday, Mars's day, August 26th, we still have the moon in Libra making an opposition to Mars in its detriment of Libra. Venus in Leo now makes a sextile aspect to the planet Uranus in Gemini. These are really original creative ideas. Take note of these. If you are creating, writing something, Venus in Leo makes a fire trine flow to Neptune in Aries, the higher octave of Venus, which basically means that the higher octave planet, again, just represents how a planet will spend years in one division of the sky, one sign of the zodiac. And with Venus, which is love in Leo, heart-centered Leo, making this fire trine flow of action to Neptune in Aries, ruled by Mars, this is the progression, the moving forward to creativity and love over time, which is endless. It never ends. The moon in Libra then makes a square aspect to Jupiter exalted in Cancer. Libra and Cancer, they are both cardinal signs of the zodiac, which means they initiate change, a new season, a new time of life. So with the moon square Jupiter exalted in Cancer, this is initiating, making your dream come true, reaching for the stars. There are no boundaries or limits. This is Jupiter exalted in Cancer, and it's doing so about and connected to something that you really feel, you really care about, because Cancer is the emotions. Cancer is also I feel, I care. The moon in Libra then makes a sextile aspect of opportunity to Mercury, still in the sunny sign of Leo. This is expressing yourself, write your stories, tell your stories. Venus in Leo then makes an opposition to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. The Venus making this opposition, which is a separating aspect to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, is the encouragement, the benefit from Venus, one of the benefics, saying get out of that mental, intellectual thought process loop. Aquarius, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, which can just keep going around and around the same thing over and over again. Venus in Leo is saying go to the heart, go to what you love, to get yourself out of a certain mindset that is not of benefit to you. It's not helping you to just keep going over and over something that is in the past. Wednesday, Mercury's day, August 27th, before Libra changes signs, she makes an opposition to Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries. This opposition is a potential healing and separation from the old way, the former way you have identified and thought of yourself. This is all about the Chiron in Aries, which is that sense of this is who I am today, not the past, which is always the I am, is always in a state of becoming. The moon enters her fall placement of Scorpio, ruled by Mars, and the moon in Scorpio makes an inconjunct aspect to Saturn in its fall placement of Aries, ruled by Mars. Moon in Scorpio makes an inconjunct to the planet Uranus in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And then the moon in Scorpio makes an inconjunct aspect to Neptune in Aries, also ruled by Mars. The moon in Scorpio makes a square aspect to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So the moon square Pluto, the moon being the past, the emotional imprints, the heavy negative baggage emotionally, and the memories that you've been carrying from the past. With the moon making this square to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, this is taking the action of using good common sense and caution in life. But when the fears, the phobias, moon square Pluto, when they override everything, it's like that song, paranoia will destroy you. Letting fears rule the day all or most of the time is a block to the manifestation that you are creating with this new moon action, the new moon in Virgo, but always in your life anyway, whether it's the new moon or not. This process of evolving and becoming eternally, always, the moon square Pluto is, I've got to do something about letting the irrational fears and phobias that are still hanging around and dictating the emotional body, moon in Scorpio, that has to go. Pluto is the transformation. It's symbolized by the phoenix rising from the ashes, the death and rebirth cycle. So the moon square Pluto is the releasing, the evolving, the phoenix rising from the ashes, in the sense of the memories and emotions from the past will no longer dictate and block the clear channel that you are of manifestation in your life. Thursday, Jupiter's Day, August 28th, we still have the moon in her fall placement of Scorpio ruled by Mars. The moon in Scorpio makes a square aspect to Venus in fixed fire Leo. The moon in Scorpio also makes a sextile aspect of opportunity to the sun in Virgo ruled by Mercury, and then Mercury in Gemini makes a sextile aspect of opportunity to Neptune in Aries. All of these aspects blended together is basically put your ideas to work. The sun in Virgo likes to produce and make the most of what it has, makes the most of its resources, which is the mind, Virgo being Mercury ruled. So these aspects are very supportive even when we have the square, because the square from the moon in Scorpio to Venus in Leo, the square is what prompts us to take action. So all of your creative thoughts and ideas, this is Mercury and Venus in Leo with the sun in Virgo, is saying get to work and put that creativity, your thoughts and ideas, no matter how outside of the box you may feel that they are, just work them through and get busy as the moon is increasing in light and power. Remember to keep your dream journal, because as the moon increases with awareness, the moon is also our dream state. So the thoughts and ideas that come to you are not just with the daytime conscious mind, they also, the inspiration comes through the dreams. So keep your dream journal, or if that is too much for you, you can just record your dreams on your phone as soon as you wake up. Either way, the inspiration will be there. Friday, Venus's Day, August 29th, we still have the moon in her fall placement of Scorpio, making a water trine flow to Jupiter exalted in Cancer. The moon in Scorpio also makes a square aspect to Mercury in fixed fire Leo. Now, the moon in Scorpio making this water trine flow to Jupiter, which is all about how you are choosing and creating the future, Jupiter exalted in Cancer, and the emotions that you're bringing into the future. This is the sign of Cancer. Always remember that whatever happened to you in the past, that is a life lesson. It's not a life sentence. So focus on the Jupiter exalted in Cancer, which again is going and reaching for the stars, making your dreams come true. The moon in Scorpio making the square aspect of action to Mercury in Leo. This highlights again how telling your story, whether you write it, video, however it is that you tell your story, this can be of great inspiration and light, because Mercury is in the sign of the sun. The awareness that can be great light to the public as the moon rules over the population, the people, the public. Saturday, Saturn's Day, August 30th, as we close out the week, spend a couple of minutes each day visualizing you doing the impossible. Whatever it is that you think you can't do, you don't believe yet, as we close out the week with the moon in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, and the moon in Sagittarius making fire trine flows to Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius, a fire trine flow to Venus in Leo, and in opposition to the planet Uranus in Gemini ruled by Mercury, and the moon in Sagittarius making a square aspect of action to the sun in Virgo ruled by Mercury. This is where the moon in Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter exalted in Cancer. This is where the moon, the faith, the believing, the going beyond the boundary, moon in Sagittarius with the second quarter moon. This is where the moon is overriding the lower limited mindset and goes beyond with this moon in Sagittarius, as again we are approaching the full moon culmination moment. So if you feel like you are not there yet with the ability that you have to do the impossible, to do what you believe you think you can't do, then if you take a minute or two, a couple of minutes, moments each day to just visualize you doing what you think can't be done, then you see it in your mind. You also feel it in your moon emotional body. You start to believe, start to get positive and excited about it. This is the element of fire. And then before you know it, you are taking the fire action of doing and creating what you thought you couldn't do. So as we close out the week, just visualize each day you taking action and doing the impossible, whatever that means for you. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous week. I will see you all in the stars.